again. It's been a while since I've posted a new video on Big Wheels Turning. I was at the Seattle the big bike show, motorcycle show that comes to town every year. It's not that big. 2 years ago it was a really big show when everybody was buying bikes because the gas prices were so high, but it hasn't been, and the show hasn't been the same since then. But I did go down to the show only because I wanted to see the people at NoMar. They're out of Fenton, Missouri, and US made product, and they were having a good deal, and I got the big kit, and they threw in this deluxe arm kit that goes with it, and I also got my wheel balancer, which is in the box there, and they threw in the breaker bar with the non-marring edges to it. That's like a $40 savings. Plus they upgraded the bearings on the Cycle Hill model wheel balancer to the full NoMar one, which gives you steel cones as opposed to the plastic cones. So I got the big kit. You get the yellow thing, and you get a couple breaker handbars to pry off rims by hand. So let me start assembling some of this stuff, and we'll come back again. First thing to do after you get the base plate out, that'll be the starting point, the base plate, is to put the wood block on. Now if I've marked the outline, and I'll take it off and drill it off camera, and then I'll screw it on, and then we'll come back with it set up again. But whether or not I keep this MDO board in place or switch it out to something else will depend on how I mount this thing in the future. The bead breaker, you've got the stock one, and then you've got the one that they upgraded me to for this, like a $39 edition, that's got the NoMar ends on it, so it's not going to hurt your wheels. But this one is substantially about 2 inches longer than the other one, and they got a couple different positions here. If you put the stock one in, which would normally go in the lower hole that's out of the way, but the other one here is going to take the upper hole, which as being a little longer, you get better. When you're breaking the bead, you're going to have a straighter pull as opposed to more of an angled one with the stock one. So I'm going to go ahead and mount the good one here, and it won't flop in the, it won't be in the way, or it won't be quite out of the way as the stock one is, but not so much because you're going to be standing out here anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down with the shoulder bolts and the nylock nuts, and since I'm going to be using the deluxe arm kit that I got as a special by going to the boat show, or the bike show, I'll get that right. I'm going to have an extra one of these arms left over, and they got little plastic plugs you put on the end of them, and then you'll have this triangle plate on top. Almost looks like some sort of throwing star, and the 1/2-inch bolts you put in. So then I haven't decided whether or not how I'm going to put this together, because you can leave this bolt out here, or take it out when you're done, and then I guess you have to use this bolt. And then it folds out of the way. So let me go ahead and just put all this together, and we'll get on with it. Okay, now that I've got the new arm bolted on here, is it showing right? Yeah. And insert the big pipe in, and now you got these 4 set screws that need to go in to the pre-threaded holes. Getting the tube into here is a little bit of pound work. I was able to tap it in with a block of wood from the back. Again, now I've got to line up the holes, so I'll use a center punch, which has a nice taper to it. It'll line up the holes. There she is. Put a nut on one end of the double-ended threaded shaft. Let me get my file out and come back. Took me a while to figure out what this collar was actually used for until I got the spoon, what do they call it, spoon bar collar, and I thought, what the hell is this supposed to do? Well, the big kid has got the spoons, and I don't know if I would have, if I will, well, I can't say never. I may need these sometime just for extra leverage. They got the little grip on the end, and there's actually another set of them, replacements in the kit too. So I'm probably going to take this off because when I need these, they'll be in storage someplace else. So I'm going to take the collar off. The other thing we have to do now is you take out of the kit the 1-inch bar, which is also the one you use the bead breaker on. And because they're got the big arm kit here, you have this plastic insert that goes in. There's a piece of wood. And tap it in, and then you got another little metal bar here that gets tamped into it, and it goes into the, let me reset up here. Okay, the bar now goes into the hole on here, and it'll come down, and I can see where I've got to drop the tubing here. It's way too long. I'll give myself that much. And this prong here actually goes into the inside of the bearing in the where the shaft would be on the wheel. So, well, I shouldn't say that either, that I will readjust the arm, because I haven't got a tire in here yet, so that distance will be variable until I do the first tire setup. But I need to let it down, and I need to twist the arm this way so it lines up with the center of the hole. Let me do that. Well, I have it all put together, and I was having some debates there for a second because this didn't look like it was lining up, but I didn't have it back to where it was even. It has a pretty slick feature too, that it won't come up unless you pull this lever off to the side, and then it'll come back. And one of the reasons you have to line that thing up and pound it in, there's little cups that are pressed into the end part up here that hold it tight to the tube. The only thing that I wasn't able to do was the handle here I couldn't find a set screw, and this goes on, covers up the label here and gets screwed in at an angle about like that. I couldn't find it someplace, so I'll have to go to the hardware store tomorrow and pick it up. But you also get in the big kit the yellow thing which goes on and holds the tire. If you look at their videos, you go to just Google NoMar, and you'll see them using this to hold the last set, the top part, after the last bit that goes on. They use it on the rim to hold the bead down, so as you go around the perimeter with the end of the tool, the double end here, the bead doesn't rise up out of the rim. So it's a pretty handy little thing. The only thing is, I'll have on my T-Max, I got to find out whether or not when it comes down, it probably will touch, maybe, I don't know, I got to go over and hold it up to the wheel. The rotors may be small enough that it's not a problem. You also get a couple extra tips to go on to the, basically this one here on the end, which will be the ones that will wear out the most. The ones that break the tire off the rim. And then what else you get? You get that like an extra hand here. You can get more of them. What you would do with this is if you're having problems getting the bead to stay up, so when you flipped it over to put into the grooves here to tighten it down, you use these to hold the tube up. And then once you get the rim tightened down with these, then you can remove them. So other than that, we'll come back when I get the let me come back a little bit later with the wheel balancer and get that set up too. This is all done. Okay, this This is the Cycle Hill version of the NoMar wheel balancer. The only difference is the color of the stand and the weight. The NoMar has the metal tapered guides, and then the Cycle Hill has hardened plastic. But because I got the show special, they upgraded these to the metal ones, and so I've got a nice set of wheel balancing, and I tried it out down at the show, and these things, when you put a tire on it, it just floats along. I mean, it's down to just parts of ounces to balance it out. So I can't wait to try this out. And this is one of those things you want to keep the box it came in, because it will keep it protected. And it also has a little bag for the tapered cones in order to keep them safe too, and they have little set screws. I already went and put those in, but I'll go ahead and keep the wrench with it too. That's pretty much it with the Cycle Hill. I'll see if I think of anything more before I finish this up. For saving in storage space, you can fold, just loosen these bolts up and then fold the arm back, and then you can see how when it's out it's going to be about that size, and when it's tucked in it's going to be probably about that wide along. I've got this useless pillar in the middle of the room, so I got Rosie with T-Max on this side and the boat side build on that side, so I could theoretically nail it in place here with just the 4 lag bolts, but the ones that come with it are kind of permanent. They're I can't remember the trade name now, but they look like big screws, concrete screws, but I want the kind where there's a female threaded section in the concrete that I can unbolt it and move it out of the way or take it with me, and it's not in the way if I need this space for anything else. So I would just soon have the mobility of it. Thinking about something else, a little bracket in the back here to maybe tie into another one of these rings to a plate that I can lag into this, and then maybe only have to use two bolts on it. So I'm going to take it, move this one back and stick it over here in the corner and see how it looks over there. Well, I've got it tucked away in this little spot. I backed out on the set screws. I mean, how many times am I going to use this in a year? Other than once your friends find out and they say, well, hey Warren, how about changing my tire for me? So it's easy to set up, and it's all folded away and all the parts together. All I have to do is just raise the tube and then set it back down and swing the arms out and bolt them in place. So I like to make a little bracket that goes on the pipe in the back that'll lag into the post in the middle of my shop, and then I put a couple female lags in the floor so I can bolt it down that way too, and then I just might leave it permanent in the middle. But then, how many times they're going to use it, so it's just as easy to bring it out over here and then maybe find a spot in the middle of the floor where I can leave some permanent female concrete bolts, threaded part in the floor. So the balancer is going to go up into the loft where it's safe, and I'm going to keep the original box that this came from with all the extra parts in it, and I'll just take it and throw it up in the loft in the barn too. So whenever I need those things, I know where they're at, and I just need to bring down a couple things, and the rest of the box can stay upstairs. So much for the Cycle Hill tire changer from the NoMar company, made in America. I mean, I only shop made in America anymore. So I'm really impressed with the quality for what I've got for the price I paid. So if you go to the one of the bike shows, see if you can get that big wheel special with the balancer, with the metal cones, and then the free arm, and then the free upgrade on the tire bead breaker, and you'll be a happy camper. I mean, it's only going to take you, what, 4 or 5 changes to for what you have to pay somebody else, and then all the time you take to get down there on your own to change it. And you could do it right in your own shop, and they're off and on back in half an hour, and it's so easy that you could change tires from winter to summer. So I got Rosie's tires have got about 12,000 miles on them now, so they're really due for a change. I'm noticing some strange markings in the rubber, so we'll come back to that when it's time to change the tire, but it'll probably have a 12,000 mile service before that. So big wheels out.